You guys may have noticed a new background here. We're going to switch it up actually. I've created a new series called How the Did You Get Into Medical School? Sit back and relax as we embark on the journey of MD in the making. What's up YouTube? Hope you're having a great day. For those of you that are new here, my name is Jason. I'm an incoming first year medical student in Washington, D.C. Like I said in the intro, I've created a new series called How the Did You Get Into Medical School? Series is going to be a way for me to have guests on and talk about how they got into medical school. It's no longer 4 years in high school, 4 years undergrad, and then jump right into medical school. There's so many different paths to get into medical school, and so that's the point of this whole series. Plan to have guests, food, and talk about how to get from point A to point Z. So this week we're going to have on a guest who has a unique path starting back from high school, and with this guest we bring some amazing food. So welcome in our first guest, Gregory. Have a seat and let's spill all the water now. All right, so welcome.
Thank you.
You are my first guest, so we're going to make this as painful as we possibly can. We're going to get all the hiccups out of the way and make this enjoyable. So, tell us about yourself.
So, hi everyone. As Jason mentioned, I'm Gregory. I'm also an incoming M1 from Los Angeles. Going to Case Western in a couple of weeks. That's...
Perfect. Yeah, that's all we wanted to start off with. I have some more questions for you. While we're going through questions, we're going to enjoy some good food. So, being that we both are of water everywhere, being that we're both of Russian descent, I decided we should get and enjoy some good Russian food. We're going to start off with the appetizers before we move into more appetizers. So, first off, we have one salad, two salads, three salads, left with a mystery and another mystery. You guys will find out. So back to salad number one. This is called
Olivia.
Perfect. So it's a mix of mayo, veggies, and mystery. What else would you say?
Egg, peas.
Yeah, we forgot those. Egg and peas too. Next, we have my favorite dish, Sulyotka pod shuba. It's in essence herring under a coat, which makes no sense whatsoever, but my favorite dish, it's layers of herring with egg, carrots, and beets with, it looks like, egg yolk on top with dill. You call that dill? Dill. And then last salad we have is vinaigrette. It's a mix of beets with cabbage and peas and carrots. And we'll just leave it at that. So the whole point of this series is, again, to bring on guests to talk about how they got into medical school, as well as enjoy good food in the process. So, take some, we'll eat, and we'll talk. Okay, let's first do a taste test. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Out of 10, what do you give it?
8.
8?
Yeah. How about you?
This is like a 9.5. This is so good. Alright, so tell me about your program. How did you get accepted into medical school?
So, I ended up applying to med school a little differently. I applied back when I was applying to undergrad. They have these programs, they're called BA or BSMD programs, where you get accepted conditionally to medical school straight out of high school. and then you do anywhere from a 6 to 8 year program in length. You spend obviously 4 years in medical school and the remaining time in your undergrad. And yeah, so I applied back in my senior year of high school to Case and got into their 8-year program. And yeah, so.
Wow. All right, so what did you do? You didn't just go 4 years undergrad, 4 year right into medical school. So what did you do in undergrad? What did you do since undergrad?
So I ended up getting accepted to the program 4 years ago now, almost. Very grateful. And I went to undergrad, and at Case they let you major in anything you want. So I ended up
Underwater basket weaving?
If it works, it works.
It works. All right. You heard it here first. If you want to go to medical school, take underwater basket weaving at Case Western, and you are in and set, ready to go.
Yes, exactly. So you can major in anything you want. All you have to do is take I think it's 12 or 14 classes, and they're your typical bio, chem, OChem, all of that. They make you take a couple of extra classes just to prove you're interested and excited. And their eventual goal is they want you to be comparable to a typical medical school applicant.
So what do they look for someone in your situation? How do they say that you are at the level of an incoming student who is not in the program?
So essentially they need you to hit a certain GPA. So they break it down into your science versus your non-science GPA. And for Case, the requirement was a 3.63 for my year. So as long as I was able to maintain a 3.63 in my overall GPA, and then specifically in those 14 science courses that I had to take, then they were good on that end. And then in addition to that, you needed to do a certain number of hours of shadowing, volunteering, and then all the other typical things that you have to do in order to apply to normal medical school. So
cool. And as far as, because you had to apply when you were in high school, 18 years old, what did you feel were any drawbacks or any uncertainties that you had with it, and who, if anyone, helped you in the process of it all?
Well, the person who helped me the most in the process was my mom.
Shout out to all the moms out there for being amazing helpers in everyone's life and figure out how to get anywhere and do anything. And if you ever lose something, one who knows where it always is your mom.
Absolutely. So mom was really, really helpful in kind of discussing my options and really trying to figure out what would be the best plan for me. I've known I wanted to go into medicine since I was 5 or so. So it wasn't really it was something that I've always been planning for and kind of been preparing myself for. So when we learned about these programs, it was kind of an obvious option for me, given my eventual career goals. Some drawbacks, I think. At that point in the process, one of the biggest ones was I was really scared of moving to Cleveland because I'm from LA. I'd been in the snow maybe twice, so I didn't want to
Snow
freeze.
and no beach, no ocean access.
Yeah, the lake in Cleveland is not anything close to a beach in California.
It's no Malibu, no Santa Monica.
Nothing like that. So that was definitely one of the biggest things for me, was I was worried about moving away from home, but I think that's a typical kind of college thing for someone who's not ready to move. But then also, when you're committing to something like that, you're committing to a long, long time in one place. And there comes a variety of aspects that you have to consider for yourself. So that was definitely a portion of it. In addition to that, kind of now that I've been through, to finish up my path, I ended up majoring in anthropology. I graduated in 3 years, and then I'm currently finishing up a gap year at the NIH before heading back to Case. And so one of the kind of drawbacks a little bit of the program is the fact that we're obviously very fortunate we got in, but at the same time, you know where you're going, and so you need to make sure that kind of you keep yourself motivated and all of that kind of stuff. And so I know that at times it definitely was, you're striving for a 3.6, and a lot of future med students are striving for something a little different. So you have to really kind of make sure you continue to push yourself throughout that entire process. Yeah,
so end of the day, nothing is ever given to you. being a doctor, we always want to be the best that we can be. So whether you've already been accepted into medical school and you're kind of just going through the motions at that point, you can't let yourself fall into those traps. You have to keep pushing yourself to be better and do better every single day.
Absolutely.
So before we started actually filming this video, we had a long and very deliberated conversation on the existence of aliens. And so leave a comment down below. Do you guys believe that aliens exist? And if they do, why haven't they communicated to us? So let us know in the comments below. But I personally think that aliens, I don't know, now I feel like I'm questioning my own choice all over again. So we're talking about this decision. So they, no, they don't exist, because if they did, they would have contacted us, or I don't know where this "or" is going, but it's not going anywhere.
So "or" would be my opinion.
Or
I think they do exist. I just think that either us or them are much more intelligent than the other one, and the aliens are able to kind of, since they're superseding our intelligence, they're able to somehow hide themselves from us, and we haven't found them in the void of space.
Oh. Those are some big words you got there.
What can I say? What can I say?
All right, next very important question. If you were to have a superpower, what would it be and why? And so, being as the host that I am, I'm obviously going to answer this first. I would say that my two options, I will pick one, but I'm going to give the opinion for both, is either teleportation or, I want to say either flight or invisibility, but I feel like teleportation and flight are almost synonymous. So we're gonna go teleportation or invisibility. And I think out of those two, I'd go with teleportation, so I can go anywhere I want, whenever I want, no traffic, no dealing with slow walkers in the city or people who have no idea how to drive. I'll go where I need to go without anyone getting in the way.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there, but I think I'm with you there more for the fact that I can wake up as late as I want to get wherever I need to go.
Hit an 8:59 snooze to get to class for 9 a.m. Do you have any preferences, or what is your favorite Russian Soviet food? If you had to think of one, or come up with one.
I think
almost one that kind of like reminds you of home and has a homey kind of feel to it.
I think I'd probably say kotlety.
Good option.
My mom makes the best kotlety. They're essentially a mix of, you can do it with a variety of meat, but I think the best ones in my mind are the ones with veal and beef. And so you kind of take the ground meats, mix them together with breadcrumbs, like pepper and a couple of other things, and they're so good. I absolutely love them. How about you?
We should bring his mom over so that way she can cook for us in our next edition of How the Did You Get Into Medical School?
Absolutely.
Do you know how many programs there are like that out there in the States?
Not a ton.
So like under 10?
No, I think there's more than 10.
20?
Probably like
30?
20, maybe 30. Yeah.
40?
Maybe a little high.
50?
Who knows?
Could be 2 months.
3 months.
Could be.
4 months.
I can see that happening, yes.
8 months.
That's a realistic timeline.
11 months.
Perhaps.
Okay, wait, now really think hard about this one. 1 year.
I could see that as a very real possibility.
494 months.
I could see that happening.
All right, so now we're gonna jump into some more food that we haven't touched. This has to be like the go-to Russian food everywhere, anywhere. And what is it?
Vareniki.
With potato, kartoshka.
Yes.
It is amazing because one, it's slightly fried, and then fried onions on top make it absolutely out of this world.
Yep.
It is the comfort food of pretty much dumplings,
Yes.
but the Russian version of it. So, take.
All that's
and-
missing is sour cream.
Do you have sour cream?
No, I don't, unfortunately.
I think this is sour cream, but this might be butter.
It's a Russian place, it's probably sour cream.
unless this is just like a ton of butter.
I can see.
Did you want bread?
No.
I didn't even offer it. I'm not a fan of sour cream.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's sour cream.
Yep.
Beautiful.
I'll pass on that.
Really?
Yeah, I just never really liked it. Even
Not a
like
true Russian.
borscht, nothing. I know.
I don't eat it in borscht. I only eat it with these.
Interesting. I just like mine with butter.
Okay.
Simple. When I grew up, I like hated everything.
Oh, you were a
Everything.
picky
I
child?
was the picky child. But
Uh,
I've definitely grown. You've gone through this crazy, almost like adventure in getting into medical school. It seems like you started so long ago before medical school started. So if you were to go back to your bright-eyed, bushy-tailed 18-year-old self and give any piece of advice, and for any of those who are out there who are in that kind of position, what would you say to your past self and to those in that position now?
my one piece of advice would be, if you know you want to go into it and you know this is what you want to do and dedicate your life to, absolutely 1000% go for it. It's been one of the best decisions I've ever made. I've had a great time during undergrad. I was able to major in what I wanted and do kind of what I wanted while having this conditional acceptance in my back pocket. So as long as I made sure that I met my requirements and looked good in comparison to the rest of the medical students applying, I was good to go. And it was great. It took a lot of pressure off.
Yeah, in essence, he went through and kind of did the pressure early on with a high school kind of requirement and background, whereas coming from me, where I had to really push myself every single day to, get that 4.0, get that perfect 528 MCAT, and then do thousands of hours of research, clinical stuff, and everything in between. You got the edge off. You got to enjoy undergrad in a more unique way, but you definitely had to push yourself nonetheless.
Yeah.
Nothing was easier given to you. You had to maintain your top academic performance as well as really show why you wanted to go into medicine.
No, exactly.
All right, so next very important question. With medical school coming, with limited hours of sleep, maybe 4 hours, maybe 3 hours, maybe an hour, maybe even, I don't know what I was going to say, 5 minutes, what is your go-to drink of choice? Coffee or tea?
Well, if I really have to stay up, it's definitely going to be coffee. Coffee tends to hit me like a truck, and after a couple of sips, I don't sleep for the night. But on a day-to-day, I love tea, so I will be sticking with my tea.
You have a favorite tea?
There's this one black tea that I get. It's like an Arabic black tea from this one specific store back home in LA, and I ship it.
You know exactly where it is in the store.
It's on Ventura.
You can do it with your eyes closed, walk in and go get it and out.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I bring that with me wherever I go. So I bring my tea, and I'll be drinking that to med school.
Very nice. Yeah, my drink of choice would be coffee. I love my espresso. I have it every single morning. The go-to breakfast, if you were to say so. If I were to say so. Go-to breakfast. But now actually the real important question. If you were to choose now a specialty, seeing that you haven't really started medical school, you've only seen it from like the outside as an undergrad, what would you choose as your specialty?
Well, I was an athlete my entire life. Played a ton of sports growing up. Basketball, volleyball, soccer. You pick it, I played it.
Yeah. Yeah. I be running through the city, yeah.
And so I definitely have my entire
Cricket?
life. That's one I haven't tried yet.
Ah.
You're close. Maybe I'll try it this weekend. We'll see. I'll have to find a friend. But with that in mind, like I've wanted to stay involved in that sports world, and so I've been wanting to do orthopedic surgery for a while. At this point, obviously, like Jason said, I haven't gone to medical school yet, and I don't really know enough. So far, ortho. We'll see. I'm thinking something surgical, but I have a couple years to find out.
Very cool. So if you guys want to find out where he ends up, how he gets where he goes, I'll leave his contact information in the description so you guys can reach out and kind of keep up with his life and how he's doing in his journey. But I know recently you've been involved in a very cool society, a cool project through the LLS. So what is LLS?
So LLS is the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, and I've been involved in a limited sense, through my sister actually, who LLS essentially they run a campaign for high school students where groups of high school students will put together little teams of however many, like I think it's up to like 15 people or something, where their goal over a 7-week period of time is to raise as much money as they can to fund cancer research. And so Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, one of their main roles is to fund cancer research, and they're one of the biggest funders in the country. And so my sister was the head of one of these teams, and she asked me to help out a little bit as a spokesperson for her, kind of just to get the word out, spread it through social media and such. And so she's wrapping up her campaign right now and finishing it all up. So if anyone's interested, please donate below. Yeah, Jason said he'll put the link in the bio, so.
Link will be in the description. You guys can check it out. And you know that, or you were saying that this last fundraising period just closed. Do you know how much that they raised?
I think we as a team raised like $15K, but overall in like the LA area, I think we raised in the hundreds somewhere.
$100,000.
Yeah, something
for
like that.
cancer research. That's
Yeah.
unbelievable. So I'll keep you guys updated for the next fundraising window, which should open in like a year.
Yeah, it opens in a year. I think the link is still open, so you can still donate, even though it's not in that official window. But yeah, so.
Now we'll be sure to, once that fundraising window really opens up again next year, we'll create a team and we'll help support such an amazing cause.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, guys, it's been a pleasure having Gregory on as our first guest. And how the did you get here? I hope you guys enjoyed this type of video, more casual, enjoy it with good food and good people. So contact information will be in the description box below if you guys have any questions on how do you get to medical school from high school. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one as we embark on the journey of MD in the making.